Imagine meeting someone who seems perfect. They compliment you. They agree with everything you say. They make you feel understood. Slowly, you begin to trust them. Then something changes. You start apologizing for things that weren't your fault. You begin questioning your own memory. You feel guilty for setting simple boundaries. Without realizing it, you've started living by someone else's rules. That's the frightening thing about manipulation. It rarely begins with control. It begins with trust. Manipulators don't usually force people into submission. They guide them there, one small step at a time. The scary part? Many manipulators don't look dangerous. They can be charming, funny, helpful, even loving, which is exactly why manipulation is so difficult to recognize until you're already caught in it. Today, we're going to uncover 5 of the most common psychological tricks manipulators use, why they work, and most importantly, how to recognize them before they begin controlling your life. Imagine remembering a conversation perfectly. Days later, the other person confidently says, "I never said that." You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. At first, you defend yourself. But after hearing it enough times, you begin wondering, maybe I did remember it wrong. That's exactly the goal. Gaslighting isn't about winning an argument. It's about weakening your confidence in your own judgment. When someone no longer trusts their own memory, they become easier to control. Healthy people may disagree with your perspective. Manipulators try to convince you that your perspective isn't real. That's the difference. Guilt is one of the strongest emotions human beings experience. Manipulators know this. Instead of asking directly, they make you feel responsible. Imagine saying no to a favor. Instead of accepting your answer, they say, "I guess I know who really cares. After everything I've done for you, I wouldn't have treated you this way." Notice what happened? They never solved the disagreement. They changed the emotion. Now you're no longer deciding what's healthy. You're trying to escape guilt. The conversation stopped being about the request. It became about your character. That's manipulation. Manipulation rarely happens overnight. It happens through tiny compromises. Maybe they interrupt you. You ignore it. Then they borrow something without asking. You let it go. Later, they expect immediate replies. Control who you spend time with. Dismiss your opinions. Each step feels small, but together, they completely reshape the relationship. This is why boundaries matter so much. Manipulators test small boundaries first because they're measuring what you'll tolerate. Every unchallenged boundary becomes permission for the next one. One day, they shower you with attention. The next, they're distant, cold, unresponsive. You begin asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Most of the time, nothing. This emotional inconsistency creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates dependence. When affection becomes unpredictable, people often work harder to earn it. Healthy relationships create emotional security. Manipulative relationships create emotional confusion. The more confused someone feels, the easier they become to influence. One of the oldest manipulation tricks is shifting responsibility. Imagine confronting someone about something that hurt you. Instead of listening, they respond, "You're too emotional. You always overreact. You're the real problem." Suddenly, you're defending yourself instead of discussing what happened. The original issue disappears. Manipulators often redirect accountability because accepting responsibility reduces their control. When every conflict somehow becomes your fault, it's worth asking yourself whether you're dealing with an honest disagreement or psychological manipulation. Manipulation isn't always loud. Sometimes it's incredibly subtle. That's what makes it dangerous. It's rarely one conversation. It's a pattern. A slow shift that causes someone to question themselves more and trust the manipulator more. The good news, once you understand these patterns, they become much harder to use against you. Awareness is one of the strongest forms of protection. The more clearly you understand human behavior, the more confidently you can protect your peace, your boundaries, and your relationships. Because the strongest defense against manipulation is recognizing it before it becomes your reality. You may not come across this message again. Follow Wake Up Mindset for more wake-up calls.